Heck yeah, man. It's a Friday night. It's the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you jumping in here. Of course, we're brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. I'm going to be your host this evening, Keith Brugman. I got with me my friend, my pal, my buddy on Friday nights, Mr. Trevor Salzman. How you doing, Trevor?
Oh, doing good, Keith. Again, it's time of the weekend, man. It's time for a lot of scenarios in the NFL to start playing out, and I can't wait for playoff weekend, man. This is nothing like it, and gonna be a lot of interesting games going on. That's definitely for sure. And hoping the Broncos get into it next season. But hey, we got an off season to look forward to, and the future's bright. We'll say
Yeah, good point, I guess, is the more than anything. Good point. The off season is just around the corner. The future is bright. We're going to be planning how the Broncos can come in here and change what we saw last season, continue to build, and be, in hopefully in that race come next year. Yeah, we'll get to those divisional games. We're going to have a special guest. If you tuned in last Friday, you got to see Mr. Joey Clams. Gave some sound advice, did very, very well. He's going to be joining us later on in the program, be giving you some advice on some wagering, maybe, if that's what you like to do on the divisional round. We'll be hitting the divisional round regardless. But, guys, we got to talk a little bit of Broncos. We got to get into the chat. We appreciate you guys so much. We got Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick coming in saying, what an awesome way to start the weekend. Good evening, fellas. Looking forward to a great show. Looking forward to Kenny Kirkpatrick coming in here and being a fantastic fan, as well as a fantastic host over on the K&K Sports Show. Our cousins in the industry, check out the K&K Sports Show. It doesn't matter what you're looking for, Broncos or Giants, NHL, NBA, and NFL, MLB, you name it, they got it covered. K&K Sports Show, fantastic guys over on the East Coast. Check them out. Got also Pearl coming in here and saying, hello to Mr. K. No, nothing to me, nothing to you, Trevor. It's okay. And Kenny's going back. Hi, Miss Pearl. But we'll go ahead and we'll throw it up there. We have a ton of topics to get to, buddy. Got a lot of things that we didn't even get to last week, and let's kick it off, man. I'll let you do like kind of like a game show style. Do you want curtain A or curtain B? Should we talk about the off-season moves, or should we talk about the pressure of the quarterback? Up to you, buddy. Which way do you want to go?
Oh, let's talk about quarterback first. That's going to be this team's number one need going into this offseason. Let's go quarterback.
All right, buddy, man. Well, let's take it away, man. A lot of, obviously, man, we've been on Russell watch. I'll be honest, that's how I'm looking at it. Peyton went out there, said, hey, we sat down, we talked for 30 minutes. Say it's not going to be long, but we're going to have to, we don't have a decision made yet. Said he was going to take a week off. That was as of Tuesday. So now we're Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're kind of on Russell watch now. It's not going to take long. We're going to come to a decision. A lot of people think that decision is going to be we're moving on from Russell Wilson. If that's the case, Trevor, a lot of people think, or maybe some people think, and maybe you should talk about this, is there pressure for Peyton Manning to go out there and get a quarterback in this draft?
Yeah, I mean, it's a real interesting question. Again, 'cause if you're moving on from Russell Wilson, you are essentially saying, okay, there's an upgrade. I think there's an upgrade out there that's available that's realistically you can get, and we can get a chance to truly acquire them, and they're going to be a better fit than Russell Wilson. I don't think a lot of people again think that it is like Denver should absolutely you have to rookie quarterback this year. That's it. I don't think that's the solution though. You can't force a pick that is maybe you're not 100% sold on. I'll go back to the Paxton Lynch draft pick. When Denver drafted Paxton Lynch, there was John Elway was 100% in on Paxton Lynch, but guess who was not 100% on Paxton Lynch? That's Garrett Kubiak, and it showed. And it showed. Trevor Siemian ended up playing a 7th round draft pick, ended up playing over Paxton Lynch, a 1st round pick.
Yeah.
So again, Broncos cannot afford to take a quarterback just for the sake of taking a quarterback. They have to. You have to take a quarterback, and you have to be 100% in on that. And that's Greg Penner, that's George Payton, that's Sean Payton, that's the offensive staff. 100% sure that that's your guy going forward. That will affect your franchise over the next 5 seasons. So you're going to have to be sure. I don't think that this team is forced to take a pick here. Again, I would not be surprised if this team goes out there and signs a veteran quarterback before the draft. I say that because
Mm.
the last thing you need to do is go into the draft with just Jared Stidham and Ben DiNucci on the team. Because then now you're showing teams your cards a little bit. Now you're saying, wow, then we maybe we need to go after quarterback. Maybe that's trading up. Maybe that's staying put at 12 and taking a Michael Penix or Bo Nix. You kind of
Mhm.
a little bit, and now you're having to force to take a need instead of taking best player available. That's what this team needs to focus in on. Take best player available. However, the cards may fall, that's where this team needs to go. Not just take quarterback because. And and so I think that this team truly, Sean Payton's been more or less through his career, coaching career, he goes more towards those veteran guys.
Mm.
And I think that again, if he wants to win now, you need to go to that more to that veteran guy. And then maybe because again, 1 year deal for a Jimmy Garoppolo, Ryan Tannehill. A lot of people are against that, but why? Those guys have had success in their careers.
Mm.
Jared Stidham is, I'm sorry, he's not the guy next year. I think we can all pretty much agree on that. So
Oh.
so I think the veteran quarterback going into next year, again, Garoppolo, been in Super Bowls before. Ryan Tannehill, been in the playoffs before. These guys have had a track record of having success. That's why I named those guys in
Mm.
particular. My article that I wrote, I named those guys specifically. Again, Brissett and or Winston could be fits as well, but Tannehill and Garoppolo have had instant success in the past. So I think they could do that going forward if you move on from Russell Wilson. Again, not a fan of moving on from Russell Wilson because you're paying him regardless. You're paying him to go away. But you're gonna have to have somebody put in there this season. And is that a rookie? Is that really fair to that rookie? Is that fair to this football team? Because like
Mm.
the Broncos are not just a quarterback away. Like I will continue to say that they're just not a quarterback away.
Yeah, not a quarterback away. A lot to digest in what you just put out there, man. But one thing is, I think that honestly, Sean Payton went out there hoping, wishing, praying that Jarrett Stidham looked fantastic. Because you bring up a wonderful point in the fact that you don't need to go into the draft looking needy. And right now, with Jarrett Stidham, Ben DiNucci on the roster, you're looking a little bit needy. You're looking like you need to bring somebody in and say, "Man, this could be our QB1 heading into next year." No worries. Because at that point, now you have a little bit of leverage in the draft. If you look like the needy guy who needs to move up, that needs to get that pick, and that pick starts falling into your almost into your lap, well, you know that other team that you're on want to move up and take their pick, they're going to want, not only the farm, but, you know, everything. They're going to want, load it on up because they're going to want to take it to the cleaners because they know with Jarrett Stidham and Ben DiNucci, with Jarrett Stidham's, performance over the last couple of games not being that fantastic. I think there's something to be said about maybe Sean Payton wanting to go ahead and put Jarrett Stidham out there and hoping he would be fantastic in that situation. Did not pan out. I got to ask you this, though, man. And just in a moment here, when you start talking, I'm going to drop your article. Fantastic article. Been getting wonderful, wonderful feedback all across the internet. Congratulations, Trevor. First article out there. Clap it up for Trevor, everybody.
Let's
That
go.
being said, man, and take your bows, man. But uh, that being said, man, if who is it that falls that you're willing to either take the quarterback at 12 or if it starts getting in range, let's say and I haven't even looked at the draft board. I should have it up in front of me. I'm terrible. Let's say it starts getting ninth pick, 10th pick, 11th pick, and that guy that you like is there and you want to trade up. Who is that guy for you, man?
Yeah, so for me, again, this is where this draft becomes interesting, and that's at pick 3 with New England Patriots. Do they take a Marvin Harrison Jr.? Do they take Jane Daniels? Which again leads me to my point is my guy that I would trade up for. I really like Jane Daniels. I think that his upside is just tremendous. I think he had a great season this last year, and I think that he would be a great fit with this system. Now, any quarterback you come into, again, they're going to be some growing pains, and we need to be ready for that as Broncos country. Again, you're bringing in a rookie guy that there's a big jump, big leap from the college game to the pros. And Sean Payton's, I think there's something to be said about Sean Payton's playbook. it's one of the more deeper playbooks I think in the NFL where you have to learn so many different plays. And so for me, it would be Jane Daniels. Again, I don't think it's going to happen because I think there's a chance that quarterbacks will go 1, 2, 3. But if
Yeah.
again, that's when the draft really gets interesting to me. And again, maybe Daniels does go number 2. There's also talk that he may go number 2. He might be quarterback 2 in this draft class. It might not be Drake May. So we will pick 2 and 3 are really going to determine where these quarterbacks may fall for Denver. Michael Penix is interesting to me as well.
Mhm.
There's so many questions that, in my opinion, with Penix, what's his age and with his injury concern,
Yes.
and it's just and does he fit Peyton's style? Because again, he doesn't throw over the middle of the field that often. He is more of a deep passer downfield. So for me, I like Penix a lot. I just maybe you can move back and
Mm.
and get more picks, and then maybe you take a guy like Penix in the back end of the first round, give him for 5 years to have team control. You have your veteran quarterback, and then you have guys to build around your veteran quarterback now and Penix going forward. So there's so many different scenarios. And I've seen Penix be a guy that is there at 13, from pick 13 to the second round. So that's such a wide range. We don't
Yep.
know yet. We won't know until the Shrine game what he's going to be doing. We don't know what he's going to do. So I think there's so much time in between. We will get a better idea as we get closer to the draft where I think he might get picked. But
Yes.
those two guys in particular really catch my eye. A lot of people are on high on JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix. I just think McCarthy, he's got upside. What upside that is, I don't know. And and that's scary to me because if you pick him at 12, that guy needs to start. If you are sticking and picking at 12, my
Mm.
opinion, that guy needs to start. This team isn't in a situation where the Kansas City Chiefs were when they drafted Patrick Mahomes. They could sit him behind Alex Smith for a year.
Yes.
Denver can't. Denver doesn't have that right now. Yeah, go sign a veteran quarterback, whatever. But you still have, even if you sign to say they signed Jimmy Garoppolo, Ryan Tannehill, you don't have you have so many different holes on this roster that you're not going to be able to fill because of the cap room you have in free agency. So you're not even in that position to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see what this team does going forward. But you have to 100% be locked into that quarterback for sure going forward. But again, best player available needs to be this team's mindset going into pick 12. And if it's not there, trade back. You don't have you just trading up and trading draft picks away. It's not doing this organization and franchise any good.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, can't be reaching, can't just be taking a guy because you need to. I've had it up here way too long, but want to give good praise to Ernie Mays. He always comes in here and is fantastic support, saying "Go Broncos country." Only for him, it's getting a quarterback in the first. Got to get to these comments, man, because the board is blowing up. By the way, Graham was 100% on board, and Graham's coming in on YouTube, guys. Our preferred platform. We appreciate you so much, Graham, coming in here, always supporting as well. 100% in agreement with where we're sitting and what we might need to do heading into the draft, getting that veteran QB. That's when that comment ended up coming through. By the way, guys, still want to give this fantastic giveaway. Oh, by the way, I figured I'd tease it. I said I was going to add something, and if you guys know, I don't have it near me, man, but we have a signed training camp memorabilia piece that we're giving away. That's part of the giveaway. The only thing you need to do to enter to win, and I'm going to get the names updated. I'll have that up for you on Sunday. I'll name off all the names that we have entered to win. We're going to be giving away that signed training camp 2023 memorabilia piece. But the only way you can get entered to win, guys, is simple. You go over to YouTube and you type in winner, WINNER. Simple as that. Winner, chicken dinner. Put winner in on the comments and you're entered to win, guys. But I've been teasing, what else can we possibly give you? Well, this is what I got for you guys. Little throwback here, man. If you've been around for a while, you remember these starting lineup dolls, 1998 edition, John Elway. Yeah, that's what we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw in for you guys. Made by Kenner. Guys, if you guys remember this, we're going to go ahead and we'll throw this in. We'll get that signed memorabilia piece in there as well. And then that's going to be our giveaway. Head on over to YouTube, WINNER, winner in the comments. That's how you get entered to win. So appreciate Graham coming in on YouTube. as well. Like I said, our preferred platform. Um, Pearl's coming in and says, how good is Ben DiNucci? We have not seen much of him. Ben DiNucci did have a pretty good stint in Dallas. He then went off to the XFL and honestly did quite well in the XFL. I like Ben DiNucci. I just don't know if Ben DiNucci has enough clout or has enough ability in the NFL to carry a team through 17 games. Agree or disagree, Trevor?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And you're Sean Payton. Your clock's starting now. As soon as you get rid of Russell Wilson, your clock's starting. So you can't afford just to throw Danucci in there again. There's a chance maybe he wins out in training camp. Maybe he wins the backup job in training camp. Certainly at stints, I think in the preseason we've seen him be better than Stidham at times. So we will see what happens. But starting quarterback, no, I don't see that. Not right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it's in the cards. I will. It's unfortunate because I do think he did look really good in Dallas when he had his opportunity. He goes off to the XFL and he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Unfortunately, I think he's going to be stuck in that backup role for quite some time in the NFL. I don't know if he ever gets that rise to starter. Stranger things have happened, but that's just my thought. You threw out a couple of names. We'll go some quick hitters on some of these questions, Trevor, because you were talking about, bringing in a Jimmy G. You were talking about bringing in a Ryan Tannehill, right? Graham's wondering, does Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi move any needle for you?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's again. Mac Jones had success at one point in time in his career, but again, you're relying on Mac Jones to get and Bailey Zappi. I don't think so either. I think Bailey Zappi will be a backup there in New England, but Mac Jones. I mean, with his cap hit, he was a former first round draft pick, so he will have a higher cap hit. And so you're gonna pay that for a guy that I mean, he's gonna have to have a bounce back season. Again, if Sean Payton wants to win, I think Payton, if he's moving indeed moves off from Russ Wilson, which is likely, well, I think he's gonna want a guy that knows for sure he's gonna fit his system because again, clock starts with Payton now. You can't sit there and try to take a chance on Mac Jones if you're not 100% sold that he's the guy. And you need to have a guy that I think with a little bit more track record of success.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that. I'm not a fan of either one. I'm going to answer this one first. This is Jimmy G. Yes, no, or maybe. I was trying to quickly see who I was supposed to give credit on this one for too. But that being said, guys, if you get a chance, head on over to streamyard.com/Facebook and allow them to use your profile, use your name. We'd appreciate it. If not, just drop your name in the comments, especially before or after the comment within the same text line. That helps us out a ton. But Jimmy G, yes, no, or maybe. I liked your thought of Ryan Tannehill, but I'll be honest, the only thing that really concerns me about Jimmy G is his injury history. And the last thing, and I know Pearl will be in agreement with me on this one because she's big on this as well. I just don't like bringing in guys with injury history. It hasn't fared out well for the Denver Broncos. We haven't been able to get on the other side of that coin per se. And because of that, that's why I'm not a Jimmy G guy. I like the idea, the thought of a Jimmy G, and that's why I like a Ryan Tannehill. Quite honestly, I don't know why they end up taking him out and never putting him back in Tennessee. I think they went from a team that was very competitive to just kind of falling apart by putting in quarterback after quarterback, not named Ryan Tannehill. Who is NFL ready? That's my guy, Pearl. Ryan Tannehill would be a good one. Jacoby Brissett would be another name that I really think that he's done fantastic by, being dumped into situation after situation and just having to learn on the fly and go in there with limited experience with this OC, with these offenses and continue to go, continue to quite honestly do very, very well in those situations. Just imagine what the guy could do if he was ever given the chance to be a QB1 2 years in a row. It might be surprising, might be fantastic. Just a bridge. I think that's about where we're at. Graham, thank you very much. Winner. Graham's showing us exactly how it's done, guys, here. Winner, winner. That's exactly how you do it. Over on YouTube, WINNER, winner. Man, I wish I even heard of football while Elway was playing, says Graham. So, yeah, it's a big throwback. So now that, a nostalgia piece, 1998. Rogers coming in and saying, I like Jimmy G. I like that. I like that as well. I mean, that's one of the names that's been put out there, but like I said, just not my guy. Just not my guy. Graham's coming in saying, "How about Joe Flacco?" Oh wait,
No.
not a second turnaround. If there was going to be a second turnaround, I might be able to be talked into a Drew Lock. But that being said, guys, we got about 15 minutes or so before we get to our special guest, Joey Clams. We're going to be bringing him in at about 45 past the hour. He did us fantastic for any of your wagering out there last week in that wild card round, divisional round. He's going to get us all set up again at 45 after the hour. That's only like 10 to 12 minutes away from right now, guys. But in those 10 or 12 minutes, man, I wanted to get to this, man. We've been talking about a lot there with if there is a move on from Russell Wilson, if there is that move on from Russell Wilson, we're going to have to make a lot of moves on this roster, man. If we're going to make a lot of moves on this roster, we're going to have to see some guys move along. And if that happens to be the case, man, we're going to have to cut some people and trade away some guys. Certainly, hopefully we can maybe rework some contracts. But that being said, Trevor, who do you think, we'll just start going through this. Who do you think are some of the cap casualties we're going to see in this offseason for the Denver Broncos?
Yeah, so again, over the cap has Denver $24 million over the cap this season, this coming off season. So, so it's got to start for me with Tim Patrick. If you, unfortunately, talk about a guy that we had high hopes for. But no, Tim Patrick. I mean, again, Denver cuts him. They save $10 million right there. I
Yep.
could see a scenario where Tim Patrick is possibly back. Under the current contract he's at, it's not going to happen. He'd have to really restructure his contract to come back to Denver. I think if you were talking about bringing in like a Michael Penix or a Russell Wilson, if you keep Russ, that would be a guy that I think I would try to keep around just because he's that big, tall, big receiver, gives you another big threat. In your wide receiver room that's also, just is struggling right now and is a need for this team. But I think he's the first guy that pops up on my list. Also, DJ Jones, you cut him, again, saves you another $10 million. So that's $20 million right there with two guys. DJ Jones, unfortunately, just hasn't play up to his contract. And he had really one good year with San Francisco, and he's just not panned out. And guy that can't get to the pass, can't get to the quarterback and just fails to stop the run. And to me, you got to get rid of him. You got to find other guys to complement Zach Allen because he's really the only guy that gets to the quarterback and find the guys that mainly can stop the run. DJ Reader comes to mind for me, would be a guy that can really stop the run, coming off a major injury. But again, Denver's not going to be going into that first crop of free agents, like George Payton said in his presser. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. A couple other guys that you could possibly save a little bit of money on. Jared Stidham. Again, I've said this. I've been kind of barking up this tree a little bit here the past couple of weeks. If Denver cuts him, they save $5 million. Again, I think you'd be eating around $2 million in dead cap, but you're saving $5. If you just that would be a scenario where you're just done with Stidham. You've seen enough. He's not the guy. You don't even want him in the building. That would be that type of scenario. I don't think it's likely because I still think he can be a backup quarterback for you, but that would be a guy that you could also save money on. Samaje Perine, another guy you save around $3 million. Again, do you want to bring in a different running back to this running back room? I don't know if you want to move on from Samaje Perine. I'm kind of in between on that, definitely for sure. So those are a couple guys. And then Jerry Jeudy, I will say this, Jerry Jeudy, if Broncos trade Jerry Jeudy, they would save $13 million if you can find a taker for him. Don't know where, what his value would be. I would imagine it's 4th round, 5th round draft picks for Jerry Jeudy. I don't think he's helped his value out much at all. But that's how Denver can save money. Also, restructuring contracts like Cortland Sutton, Justin Simmons, and Garrett Bowles. Those would be guys that they're going to have to restructure contracts out as well on. So it's going to be interesting to see what Denver has to do. They're going to have to get creative. I would, again, don't expect Denver to be in on these big free agents. They're going to have to start going after guys with they haven't played well but have a high upside and can really flip their seasons around. Coming here, so you're gonna have to really rely on your scouting department with your cap, your cap situation where it is right now. That's why I'm kind of against looking back at last offseason. That's why I'm kind of going back and I'm like, should you really have spent that much money, over $100 million last offseason in one offseason?
Mhm.
Should you have done that? I think it should be a question we ask ourselves throughout this whole offseason as we go through this process is, was that worth it in one offseason to do that? Or would you rather spread it out, spread the money out over the next, at least over 2 years, and just make the team better over the next 2 years instead of trying to do that all in one offseason and overpay for players?
A great analysis. I think I agree on every single one that you're talking about there. I think that one thing that I would look for, Sean Payton likes to move up in the draft. And when he does so, he likes to package things together in order to do so. I wouldn't be surprised if a Jerry Judy gets packaged with a draft pick in order to move up. So look for that scenario. The other thing that I'm going to pound the table, pound the table, pound the table, and if I would pound the table, but I think my camera might actually fall over. So that being said, pound the table for Lloyd Cushenberry being re-signed. You can give a big signing bonus up front. You can backload the contract on the back end to get him taken care of, where we're in a little bit better cap position. This is a guy that you drafted, developed. It's what we keep talking about. Where we had to get young, draft, and develop. Well, I don't want to get young, draft, and develop, and then let them all walk away. This is a guy that I think has shown the right progression, has shown that he can work within the Peyton system, and I would like to see us come to an agreement with Lloyd Cushenberry and continue on, rather than throwing it to the wind and hoping that maybe a seventh round draft pick can come in here and be the center of our line and call out all the defenses and have good understanding of the entire. No, let's not go down that path. That's my big thing. So
Um,
um
before
I,
you before you move on, because I have you, did you see
quickly, and
PF?
then I got to get to these comments, and I got Joey's waiting, man. He's a biting at, chomping at it, wants to get into all this, man. So I see you backstage, Joey. We're gonna get to you really shortly. What do you got, Trevor?
Oh, because I was going to say this plays right into the whole Lloyd Cushenberry thing. So PFF put a article out today ranking all the free agents and what they might get, projecting them what they might get. Lloyd Cushenberry is projected by Pro Football Focus to get 4-year deal, $57 million, $14.2 million per season.
Yep.
That's one of them. Josie Jewell was projected to get a 2-year deal, 12.5 million and 16.2 million a year. Do you think that bringing back Lloyd Cushenberry around $14 million, you think that that's reasonable for this team?
I think if you do your contract right, I think you can, because again, you can front load the contract with a big signing bonus and avoid that cap hit this year. You can backload the contract for a third year and with a fourth year option, let's say, and give him big money in the third year when you're 2 years from now completely out of Russell Wilson's. And then at that point, hey, if you want to extend, rework that contract because he's doing fantastic, you have that option. Yeah, you might be stuck up for a little bit of money 3 years down the road, but my goodness, let's not continue to go down the path. Like I said, all of a sudden just bring in a seventh round draft pick and say, okay, there's going to be the center now. It just seems ridiculous to me when we're talking about being younger, draft and develop, keeping those guys around. On the other side, Josie Jewell's a guy that we probably had to let go of, and Drew Sanders was brought in to replace him. That's the difference. Drew Sanders, we actually paid some value to go out there and make sure that we're all set. We didn't go out there and pay a ton of money for Forsyth, and it worries me that that's the guy that we might end up relying on. I got to get over to Scoop. Scoops is on here really quick. Like I said, we got about 5 minutes before I head over to Joey Clams. He says, I commented earlier, it disappeared. Sorry so much, bud. He said, Russ's mobility. So let's see. Let me give another run at this. Would you guys give another run at Rex Ryan after missing him the first time? Massive dynamic trio with Keith, Trev, and Clams. By the way, guys, Scoops, part of the K&K Sports Show. Check him out. He has What's the Scoop over on the K&K Sports Show. I'm just going to plug this K&K Sports Show, but I love Scoops, man. Always in there, always super active on the comments, and what a fantastic show. Guy knows his stuff deep, deep, deep. He'll go back and pull it out from where. So that being said, check out What's the Scoop. And what are your thoughts, man? Rex Ryan, should we make a run at him?
No way. No way. Don't. Rex Ryan was fired from Buffalo, and he hasn't been in the league since 2016. Like, I agree. Like, I like Rex Ryan's hype, but again, it's so easy to get behind that when he's behind the camera saying that. Okay, Rex, well, why aren't you in the league? There's a reason Rex Ryan's not in the league. If Sean Payton was going to hire Rex Ryan, he would have done it last offseason. It's not going to happen. It's just there's Rex Ryan has a big ego on top of Sean Payton's ego. I mean, there's no way. And again, a lot of Rex Ryan hasn't had a solid defense since he was with the Jets, in my opinion. When he was with Buffalo, a lot of his defenses, whether you can blame that on personnel or whatnot, again, still goes back to the head coach. A lot of his defenses, they were last in a lot of different categories. And so I appreciate the love for Rex Ryan, but I mean, it's not going to happen because, again, they would have had to last offseason. Maybe a guy like Christian Parker should be elevated to DC if you're going to go in a different direction. But Rex Ryan, no, I'm out on that completely. And I think every football team in the NFL is completely out of Rex Ryan.
I'm in agreement, man. Too many years removed. Didn't like what he did in Buffalo. I don't think that he's the right personality fit for this team. And yeah, I would love to keep a hold of Christian Parker. I would take Christian Parker over Vance Joseph. Really quick, got to go quick, man, because we got show wrapping up here, and got to get to Joey as well. How many seasons do you think it will be? And how many seasons do you think that we will be a so-called easy W on someone else's schedule? How many years before they're scared of us, man? What's your thoughts on that, Trevor?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's so hard to determine this because, again, NFL, you can turn things around quickly. I mean, I would say get 2 years. I think 2 more years, 2025. I would say would be the year where I think that Denver has. There's a chance that other teams will be. I mean, a little bit more worried about Denver just because, again, you have 2 years under Sean Payton. By that time, you would hope that this is starting to get figured out. He has his quarterback in place, whether that's veteran or if that's a rookie, however you want to dial it down, and you have a team that you can complement that quarterback and just be a better football team. Gotta give Sean Payton more time, though. He ain't gonna turn this team around in one off season. I know we've been critical on Sean Payton, rightfully so, but again, gotta give these coaches time to get what they need to get in place and learn from some of their mistakes, and hopefully take that and run with it going forward and be better.
I'm gonna hold Sean Payton to his comparison. I'm gonna go with the Lions. At the end of his second season, the Lions were scary, but not playoff. Not a playoff team, but took the Packers out at the end of last season. Look at them this year. So I would say that by the end of this season, I want them to be scary. Anthony's coming in here and saying, I'm pulling my hair out if I hear Russ one more time. I just want to say, Roger and Anthony, I see you over on YouTube. Make sure you're typing in winner in order to be entered for our contest over on YouTube. I would appreciate it. You will appreciate it as well, man. Guys, I know that we got a lot of other comments in here. One other comment I'm going to get to really quick. Sam Howell, says Kenny. And I have another comment coming in here and saying that they've heard a little bit about this as well. So what are your thoughts on Sam Howell?
Yeah, I mean, again, what is Sam Howell? Why doesn't Washington want him? Why are they trying to get rid of him? Yeah, they have a top draft pick, but if they have their choice, are they keeping Sam Howell long term? I mean, the thing is, you're getting yours. We talk about retreads. What is that? Sam Howell. That's what I mean. He's younger, but that's what he is as well. Yeah, you could take a shot on him, and maybe he would fit Sean Payton's system, but he hasn't had a track record of success. I think if you're Sean Payton, you want to win ASAP. You're trying to find a guy that's got more success in the league, and Sam Howell he's got some time to go, and so I don't think that's something that Sean Payton's going to pursue right now. But I like the idea for sure because I think that's the type of quarterback you'd want, just with his body, his frame, and everything, his big arm. But I don't think he's there right now, and he would probably be. Maybe you bring him in as like maybe a plan C or something, kind of a last resort. But right now, I don't think I'd go in that direction right now.
Plan F. Oh my goodness. Really quick. Sam Howell, someone makes sure Kenny is okay at the hospital, says the fantastic Kurt Valente. And the reason I bring that up is because Kurt gave us a fantastic, if I can pull it here really quick. He came in here really saying, what's up, boys? This weekend, run the ball, play defense. It's how you win the championships. And I'll tell you what, how you put a little dough in your pocket? Well, maybe you should listen to Joey Clams, man. We do a little bit of wagering here. It's about time to bring him in.
What do you hear? What do you say? Do you hear me? Hey, Gab.
Hey, we got him. We got
You got
Mr. Joey Clams coming in saying, "Can you hear me? Are we here?" That's my best impersonation. We're here. We're here, buddy. And man, thank you so much. Another week of Joey Clams. Welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing?
What do you hear? What do you say? What's going on? Let's go. How's everything? How you doing? Let me ask you something. That's an amazing beard you got there. What do you do with it when you eat a bowl of pasta vazul? What do you do with the beard when you got to eat a bowl of pasta vazul?
Get it all stretched out like this. So the mustache don't get in there. That's the biggest thing. And then you just go in there. You just don't worry about it. You clean up afterwards. You know what I'm talking about? All right.
Double dip.
Double dip. You got it, man. Double dip, man. Talk about double dip. And Joey Clams, man, you brought it last week. Gave us fantastic advice, man. We could go over all the games from last week, but man, I honestly, we don't have the time. We don't have the time, man. You brought it in. You gave us good advice. Do you remember what your record was?
Last week, I think, because on Sunday I pounded the Packers, the team total over in the game, and Cowboys team total over. We had the Rams. We had the under in that game. Yeah, we were like, I was like 9-1 for the weekend. 9-1. And then on Saturday, we were 5-1-1 with the college basketball.
Well, there you go. You know, hey, we talk NFL over here. We talk Broncos football a lot, but man, I tell you what, Joey Clams not limited to football in any stretch of the imagination, man. Check out Joey Clams. He'll get you taken care of all up and down the boards.
Hey, Keith, all you got to do is tell Trevor to put his shoes up on the TV. Show everybody the new Bruno Malleys he bought. He bought a $700 pair of shoes for me, giving him the games last week. He's looking like new money now with the Bruno Malleys. Show him.
There you go, man. Holy cow, man. Well, it's what happens, man. It's what happens. We talk a lot though, man. Know your money. Know what you're willing to put out there. Don't chase your losses, right, Joey? It's important, man. Let's give sound advice out there. We want people wagering responsibly, correct, sir?
Absolutely. Take it from somebody who knows. I was chasing my whole life. Forget about it. I got a ton of stories, thousands of dollars, 60,000, 80,000. Forget it.
Forget about it, right? So let's do this, man. Let's jump right into it, man. I want to start off on Saturday. First game, we got Texans, Ravens. Ravens, as of 2 p.m. Mountain Time. I had to pull. I don't know if these are up to date, but so if you want to flex these lines in any particular way, you know, right? Texans, Ravens. Ravens are 9.5-point favorites. The over/under is 43.5. Joey Clams, where are you putting money on this game?
I'm going with the Ravens in this game. Their defensive coordinator, McDonald, he was with Michigan when they played Ohio State, so he clamped down on Stroud, and this defense that's ran by the Ravens, they blew up the 49er offense. They blew up the Miami Dolphin offense that runs the same offense as the 49ers, and so does the Texans, run the same thing. They faced the 49ers on Christmas. They faced Miami the week after. So they've seen this defense. This is going to be the third time. They've seen this offense. This is the third time that they've seen this offense ran from that 49er tree from Shanahan. So they're going to be able, and the Texans don't play well on the road. The defense well on the road. I like the Ravens here with the rest to cover the 9.5 in this game.
Ooh.
I think it's too much for Houston. I think it's too much of a hill to climb. They went against, like we talked about last week, the Browns defense don't travel well on the road. They gave up too many points. And how long was Joe Flacco going to last? You know, how long will you get out? It's the playoffs now. So I'm with the Ravens on this one. The total, the number you gave out is probably the right number. It opened at 46. It went to 44, 43.5. But I'm in this game right now. My play is on the Ravens minus the 9.5.
Got Roger coming in. He's liking the Texans. Trevor, do you have a thought on this one on this game? Again, Tech or Ravens are favored by 9.5. Over/under. I'm sorry, is 43.5.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've been back and forth on this because I don't know how much I trust Baltimore, but I think I got to go with Baltimore, the favorite. I think that they have what it takes, I think, on both sides of the ball to get it done. But again, I wouldn't really totally, pan out the whole, Houston Texans team. I don't think that that's team that don't quit. It's not. I don't think it's going to be easy for Baltimore to get this win. I really don't. I think that that's a well coached Houston Texans team and a team that's just on the cusp of continuing to get better. Now they're probably a year too early, but I think that they are. They're definitely on the cusp, and it's not going to be easy for Baltimore.
Roger also just saying he loves the underdogs. That might be another reason he's pulling for those Texans. Got to watch out for those emotions, right? Right, Clams?
Oh, yeah. The dogs,
Kurt, go ahead, Clams.
yeah, no, the dog's alive. Go ahead. What game you got next? Shoot.
Well, I just wanted to come in here. Kurt's coming in here and saying Clams with big exclamation points. He says, let's go. Don't get bored or cute this weekend. Baltimore and San Francisco, Detroit and Buffalo, home field big time. So that's his thoughts. We're heading over, though, to the second Saturday game, Packers, 49ers. 49ers are, again, 9.5-point favorites. The over-under on this one is 50.5. What are your thoughts on this one, Clams?
Yeah, this is the same thing as the Texans are getting hit with a lot of public money. That's like the Squares and the Joes. The Sharp, the Ravens, the same thing with the Packers. All the Squares and the Joes, there are the public. It's the big public dog. Everybody loved what they seen last week. This is what you got to remember. You can't remember what you seen last week. It's all about matchups, and you got to remember. We talked about it last week. A McCarthy Cowboy team is never prepared, and you can see right off the bat, they went right down the field and scored a point. The last 5 games, Green Bay they have taken the ball. Even when they win the coin toss, they're taking the ball. When they lose the coin toss, they're giving the ball. They're taking the ball. They want to get ahead. They want to go down there quick and score. Shanahan knows this. He's ready. He's been analyzing this game from the second quarter last week. He's ready. There's not going to be a stone unturned that you're not going to get from him. Too much. This is the defense for the Packers is not good. They're going to run the ball on those run zones that Shanahan was running, what his father was running. They're going to open up Green Bay up, and 49ers, I think, win by 2 touchdowns. And game to get over. I can see this as a 34-20 final, 49ers. Too much 40 for Green Bay.
So that over under 50.5, you're liking the over then, huh, buddy?
The over a little bit, but I didn't make a play on it yet. But I did make a play on the 49ers minus the 9.
Very good, man. Trevor, your thoughts on this game, man?
Yeah, I like the Niners. This is a team that I like going the whole way. I mean, they're just so talented on both sides of the ball, and them trading for Chase Young and getting and just continuing to build the right way. McCaffrey is also going to be back fully healthy, ready to go, so could be a big game for him. So I'll take 49ers in this one.
Right on. Flipping over to Sunday now, NFC matchup, a big one I know over at the K&K Sports Show with our good friend Carson, rooting on those Lions. But Buccaneers, Lions come in as a 6.5-point favorite. Over and under is 49.5. What are your thoughts, Joey?
Ben Johnson had 2 coach interviews today. He's got 2 more tomorrow. Aaron Glenn had 2 interviews today. He's got 2 more tomorrow. You got the biggest game in this franchise history coming up, and how prepared is that? That's a little shaky to me. And I'm hearing around the Detroit, the players are walking around, people hugging them, buying them coffee, like they already won something. I hope they don't, get that taste in their mouth and think they already won something. But I'm on. I like Tampa Bay in this game, plus the 7. If you could get up to 7, 6.5, and out in Vegas, a group came in. They took the 6.5, and the line is down to 6. Some sharp money came in on Tampa Bay on this game. The worst unit in this game is the defense of Detroit. Their secondary is a sieve. They gave up 400 yards twice to Mullins with the Vikings. They give up a ton of yards in that secondary. And listen, Tampa Bay's Tampa Bay. They're not going to be able to run the ball. They're going to be able to throw the ball. they're gonna score some points. So I like this. I like Tampa Bay with the points in this game.
Very good. Trevor, how are you feeling on this game, man? Joey, this is what I love about Joey, man. Deep diving all the way down, talking about, those coaching interviews that are going around, how the players are being treated around town. That does kind of play into the psyche a little bit. Does that play into your thoughts on who takes home this game? Bucks, Lions, Sunday.
Yeah, I think absolutely it does. Again, just it's going to be really interesting to see. I think we'll find out early in that game whether those coaching interviews are not played a big part in this game or play a big part in this game. Yeah, I'm kind of with Joey on this thing. Like, I'm really worried for the Lions. Again, you won by 1 point last weekend, and you're celebrating in the streets like you won the Super Bowl. That's concerning to me. That's getting your head way too high right now, not being focused. So yeah, give me Detroit in this one. I think that they'll take this one home. I think the Baker's playing well right now, and I think that that's a team that you don't want to mess with. They're underdogs in my opinion in this whole playoff race here, and so give me Tampa Bay. Also, my good good friend Jason Light is GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's from where I'm at, so I'll definitely root for Tampa Bay in this one.
Right on, buddy. Right on.
The Rams shot themselves in the foot last week in that fourth quarter. They had the ball first and goal from the 4, no touchdown. First and goal from the 9, no touchdown. First and 10 from the 11, no touchdown.
Good point, man. Kenny is saying, coming in here, I don't know if this changes anything for either of you. He says Detroit's getting back their best players in the secondary this week. Any thoughts on that then, Joey? Does that change your opinion at all?
They're not good. The second.
Okay, very good. We'll flip right over to what looks like the best game of the weekend. At least that's what the line is telling us. Chiefs, Bills. The Bills are favored by 2.5. The over-under is 45.5. I'm sorry. Had to make sure. Older eyes, man. It's happening to me. So Bills are favored by 2.5, 45.5. What are your thoughts on this, Mr. Clams?
Buffalo Bills injury report is a mass unit. The only people missing is Hot Lips and Frank Burns. They played on Monday. The Chiefs played Saturday. Chiefs got 8 days rest. The Bills are on a short week. They got a lot of key players hurt on their defense. I think, and they've been playing for their lives the last 6 weeks. When they were 6-6 and they beat the Chiefs that day, they've been fighting for their lives. I'm going to get 3. I took 3.5 in this game. Chiefs. I put it in a parlay. I moved the lines a little bit. I was able to buy a little bit. I put in a parlay so I don't get hurt with the juice. But the Bills is 2.5, and I see minus 120, 125 laying the juice on 2.5. They don't want to go to 3. If it goes to 3, then you'll be laying juice with the Chiefs taking the 3. The bookmakers hate this number 3 because they can get hosed on this number. But getting back to the game, you know what? Mahomes, they're rested. Kelsey needed that week off the week before. The guy that's going to be covering him is going to be a backup. I think Kelsey has a big game. Mahomes is a dog. I don't care if it's on the road. His first playoff game on the road. What does that mean? The guy's the Super Bowl champion 2 times, been to 3 Super Bowls. Chiefs, close game. Here's another thing too. Special teams. The punter for Buffalo got a pulled hamstring. Their field goal kicker Bass. He can't kick it through the loops. He's going to cost you an extra point or a field goal. I like the field goal kicker on Kansas City. He's a big time kicker. Here's what happens in the playoffs. It's coach, quarterback, special teams, and that's another thing. Green Bay's got a terrible special teams and third downs. Who's getting off the field on third downs and who's making the big plays on offense on the third downs? That's what the playoffs come down to. So I like Kansas City in this game. Maybe even to win it outright, but I'm taking Kansas City with the points in this game. And I don't total right now. You listen to the K&K or the Clams and the Claw show on Saturday and Sunday. We'll have more updates with that. So, but right now, I'm taking Kansas City, Pat Mahomes, and Andy Reid.
That's your early bet because, as Joey just mentioned, man, sometimes it's right up to the line, man, right up to the minute. Those lines can fluctuate. You need to stay in touch. Going back though over to Trevor, man, tight game. This is a big one. We, of course, on our end of things, being a Broncos show, we're getting a lot of comments like, "Go Bills!" Just can't root for the Chiefs. Yuck! And we're getting, "I want nothing less than the Bills," airing the you
Hey,
know what out of the ball versus KC. What are your thoughts, though, Trevor? How do you see this game playing out?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want the Chiefs to win at all. I never do. But I respect Patrick Mahomes for who he is. He is the best quarterback in the NFL. And I know, some people say, "Oh, hasn't had his best season. He's regressed." The guy shows up in the playoffs, and I think he's going to show up in this one. I think the Chiefs are going to take this one out. I think also Kansas City has a defense that they haven't had a ton in years past. So this is a team. This is a defense that shut out Mike McDaniel's offense, 7 points in that game. So it's just I think the Chiefs will take this one. I think they're the more complete team. Again, Buffalo got hot at the right time. They're running the football a lot better. Josh Allen doesn't have to do all of it. But again, it's just I think Kansas City is the better team, and I think that tandem of Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, it just seems like it shows up, when they need to. So I give me the Chiefs in this one. Again, I don't like saying that, but I think the Chiefs will take this one. And
Yeah.
Sean McDermott, the Buffalo Bills head coach, might be on the hot seat if
Oh.
he loses this game.
And you guys just got to look at Buffalo's games that they won. They beat a limping Miami team. They beat a Steeler team that has got no quarterback.
Yep.
They beat the Jets. So, and here's another thing important because you guys, people like go Bills. Don't place a bet on a team that just because you don't like the team, you're going to bet against them. Don't waste your money. Like you know what? Don't bet who you want to see win. Bet who you think it was. You got to take your team hat off, cover the names of the team, and just look at the line and follow them. And that's it. Either the dog or the favorite. Watch the line. You can't be. Listen, I was like that too when I was younger. Or you betting because you don't like you're betting against the guy you don't like. You know what it is? Everybody hates the boss. Mahomes is the boss, so everybody hates the boss.
It's the truth, man. It's the truth, man. It's funny. Not a big wager, as Joey Clams once pointed out to me. I need to get that communion money out of my pocket. Maybe put a little bit out there on the line. But that being said, for me it was fantasy sports. That was where I had to take off my team hat. I had to go ahead and say, that rival has a good player on there that puts up points, and that's the guy I want to have on my roster. I liked your points, Joey. Look at the coach, look at the quarterback, look at the special teams, look at third down. Those are four great points that can lead you down the path to success, especially here in the playoffs, Joey. Joey, before we get out of here, talk about your
turnover that turnover battle.
That turnover battle, yes, 100%. Well, that's an easy 5, man. We love it, man. So, and that turnover battle too. Joey, before you get out of here, I want you to talk about Saturday and Sunday, what you have going on, where we can find you, and why we want to watch you.
Well, again, gonna get some late information on injuries and maybe some late moves coming in. Like there's a lot of groups out there that bet and they're professional gamblers. Like the group that came in, I think they put 110,000 on the Tampa Bay plus the 6.5, and that's at one place out in Vegas. They took that game and they're down to 6. Tomorrow on the K&K show, it's 11 a.m. Eastern time, is the Clams and Claws show. We're gonna have some college basketball and some updated NFL playoff games for this divisional weekend. And the same thing on Sunday will be on at noontime Eastern, 12 noon. The Clams and Claw show. I even think Kenny might be making a guest appearance on there. So with some later from we pounded last Saturday. My college player of the year was St. Mary's going into Santa Clara Thursday night. Before that, Santa Clara beat Gonzaga as a 9-point dog, beat them outright. They were still celebrating into Saturday. That was my game. Give me St. Mary's against Santa Clara. Later 5, they won by 22. That was my game of the year in the hoops. And you know what? You got to get as much information. There's so much information. There's all kinds of trends. There's so many things you can clog your head up with. You just got to follow the system and do your work.
Absolutely. And the nice thing is, Joey Clams, whether it be Clams and Claws, whether it be any of his shows, Wits and Wagers, you name it, he'll sort you out. He'll get you through all that mess of all that information, get you down to what really matters, and get you your best line possible for maybe putting down a couple of your own dollars responsibly. Joey, thank you so much. Another fantastic Friday evening with you. Hope to have you back next week as well. And everybody, tune in to all the shows over on the K&K Sports Show. Tune in to Joey Clams. Thank you, sir.
Cash them tickets and pay the player.
There you go, buddy. Thank you. Have a great night, sir.
Have a great night, Joey.
How you doing, man?
Well, there you are, Joey Clams, man. Bringing it to you in all the right ways, man. Appreciate you guys. We're trying to, bring on a few different people, give you a few different thoughts, a few different ideas. Hopefully, Joey Clams is a favorite of yours. He's a favorite of ours. He'll continue through the rest of the NFL postseason, hopefully for us. So we'll see him again for the conference championship. And then it'll tell you, by the time we get to Super Bowl, maybe he even has a few, what is it? Those funny bets. What do they call those? Oh my goodness, I'm losing my mind. That being said, man, not losing their mind. Mr. Trevor Salzman, I know we're right up against the hour, maybe a little bit over. We've had a fantastic show. We've had plenty of friends, plenty of comments coming in, but it's about time to wrap it up, Trevor. Let's get some final thoughts. Let's get out of here and get ready to see our friends again next Sunday.
Yeah, so I just want to thank everybody here again for joining us and for you guys watching. You guys are absolutely amazing. You guys deserve, the best, and we're going to give you the best every single podcast we do. We really, truly comes from the heart, and we really try to give you everything we possibly can. And again, big thank you, big shout out to Joey Clams for joining us once again. And he's such a character, and he's just an awesome, amazing guy, a legend in my mind. I mean, like all you guys are legends. Broncos country, you guys are the best. And we really love having you in here again. Continue to like, share, subscribe. Continue to tune in because again, more shows coming out, covering more of the off season. It's going to be a wild ride. Even just watching the playoffs, we'll be able to kind of get that little bit, dive into that a little bit on Sunday as well. So that'll be pretty fun to do. And again, just guys have a great weekend. Stay warm and go Broncos. And also little quick hitter, Sam Howell. Before we go, Sam Howell. QBR rating. I mean, I go off QBR rating. It's not just my only stat I go off of. It's just again 42.1. Average is 50. Sam Howell, 21 interceptions and 21 touchdowns. Is that someone that 23 years old? Is that someone that you see Sean Payton bringing in here, Keith, next season? Just a quick question.
I don't, man. And we already have enough guys like that on our roster if we want to continue down that path. I'm a sucker for Drew Lock, so I would go Drew Lock over Sam Howell if we're going down that path as it is. But I'm going to agree with you, man. The most intriguing name you gave me, man, was Ryan Tannehill, and Ryan Tannehill is a name that kind of intrigues me because I think we might be in a bridge position. Hopefully, the most amazing quarterback just falls to us in the draft, and we were able to just pick him at number 12. But if that's not the case, man, we need to have a plan B, and a plan B should start before we head into the draft. So no, I'll pass on Sam Howell as well, man. How's that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. And I agree 100%. Again, you want a veteran quarterback, you get a guy that has had success. Ryan Tannehill in 2020, and I think 2021 he had a solid season. 2020 he had a breakout season that year.
Yeah.
That's not too far away. That's not too far away at all. He can do that. And if Sean Payton thinks that he can, why not take a chance? You don't have to force a rookie quarterback into the situation. Again, you have to strike with the rookie quarterback when the timing is right. You can't force that type of situation. So we'll break it down more this offseason. And, again, just love breaking it all down. And it's going to be really interesting. Again, we're going to have to get to the Russell Wilson news first before we start talking about other quarterbacks officially. So we'll get all down to it. But, again, thank you guys and love you guys and amazing fans, guys. Thank you for everything. Yeah,
absolutely. Kenny's coming in here. K&K Sports Show saying, great show, guys. Appreciate it so much. Graham was coming in here earlier saying, do y'all have to go so soon? I wish we didn't, man. Believe me, we're having a heck of a good time in here. But, outside of Broncos life does call every now and then. So should probably get out of here. As much as I'd love to do, like, I could probably do 8 hours. I swear I could lose my voice with you guys. I appreciate you, man. Got Graham coming in here and saying, good point, Trevor. Sheesh. Pearl coming in here saying, great show. Working this weekend, so I'll only watch event games or maybe evening games, I imagine is what she's trying to say. She always has that autocorrect. I know about you, Pearl. I appreciate it. So that being said, I'm going to do my best. By the way, guys, Denver Bronco Roundup, 3 shows a week. We got Friday nights. Love hanging out with you guys. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. This has been fantastic. Bringing different guests each week, having Trevor on here who brings it every single week, every single show. You guys with your amazing comments, all your questions. Appreciate you guys so much, man. Friday nights have been a blast. Want to continue it? Sunday, we're going to pick it up again. Same time, same place, 7 p.m. Rocky Mountain Sports Network, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Can't get enough of us then? Well, I'm not going to call you pathetic, but I appreciate you. Pick us up on Tuesday as well, man. You can check us out at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Check us out again, guys, man. 3 shows a week. We're trying to bring you, and we're bringing new guests each time. We're bringing new ideas. We're bringing in wits and wagering like with Joey Clams. Love everything you do. Guys, on Fridays, we typically miss out, though, on our other 2 co-hosts that you'll be able to catch up on Tuesday with, and that's Jody and that's Albert. So I'm going to do my best Albert impersonation. If any of you guys know Albert does this. Thank you very much to the following: Kenny Kirkpatrick, Pearl Heater, who came in here, Ernie Mays, who was in here really early. Appreciate your Ernie always supporting. Graham, just blowing up the chat board. Appreciate you so much. We had some new names in here as well, and I'm going to get to them here in a second. Roger, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Scoops came in here. Appreciate you. Kurt Valente, the other half of the K&K Sports Show. Anthony Virgil, appreciate it. That was the new name that I hadn't recognized in the past. And Anthony, please get entered in on our YouTube. Everybody needs to get entered in on YouTube. Go over to YouTube. Go on to this podcast. Just type in winner. It doesn't matter if it's now, later. Doesn't matter. Just before the deadline. Which let's put a deadline. Let's put next Friday as our deadline. That will be a good one. We'll go all the way through Friday's show. We'll pick a winner after that. We'll have a winner next Sunday. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. Anybody else that I saw or I missed? Matt Staffiero, appreciate you jumping in here. I didn't end up getting your comment, but appreciate you jumping in as well. But thank you guys, everybody. If I missed somebody, I saw Patrick Wiltsey was in here. Thank you, Patrick. Like I said, all our friends, all our family, you guys have been fantastic supporters. It's why we're up to 3 shows. It's why we brought on Trevor to come in here and help fill in, and not only fill in, but like literally bring it, guys. And boy, check out the article over on Rocky Mountain Sports Network that Trevor just dropped. Like I said, getting tons and tons and tons. By the way, Rocky Mountain SN is the website you want to go to, Rocky Mountain SN. Again, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on X, we're over on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, guys. Get us everywhere you possibly can. Share us with your friends. We got to get out of here, though, guys. Appreciate a fantastic show. Appreciate you, Trevor. Any last words before we get out?
Let's go, Broncos country. Let's go.
I like it, man. Clapping it up, kind of K&K style. But before we get out, guys, I'm going to say this. Make sure keep your boots in your in your stirrups. Keep your guns in your
holsters.
There you go. And, of course, keep the Broncos in your hearts, guys. We're going to get out of here. Good night. Thank you so much. See you soon.